We are headed back to Disney soon, and we figured that we should share our favorite rides and attractions for toddlers and adults.
At the end of the video, we will also go over some least favorites, so stay tuned for that.
A lot of people say, well, when will my kids truly enjoy Disney if we go to Disney? First, if your kids are under 3, 2 years and 364 days, they go into Disney parks for free. Obviously, that's a huge perk because then you save some money. I would also say if your kids are at least 36 inches tall, then they can ride a lot of the rides. Whatever age they reach 36 inches and they're under the age of 3 is probably a good age that they could go to Disney and enjoy it.
We're going to start with Magic Kingdom and our top rides for toddlers in Magic Kingdom. When we took Letty the very first time, she was around 18 months old, and I made a list of rides that I wanted to go on based on height and height limit. That list will be in the description below.
The day we ended up going to the Magic Kingdom park, it was actually closing at 4:30 for a cast member party. At first, we were very bummed, but it all worked out for us because that park was empty that day. Even people that worked in Magic Kingdom told us they have not seen the park that empty in a really long time.
So out of the 18 attractions that were on my list, we got to ride 15 in the window of, I think we showed up right at opening and then left at 4:30. Right. That was with a nap in there.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy how quick we were moving.
That trip, she was just tall enough to ride Barnstormer, and we took her on. She didn't really know what to think, but that was a favorite for her. She was scared, but she wanted to go again.
It's a great starter roller coaster for kids, and it happens so fast that if they do not like it, you're getting off very soon. We'll share our funny roller coaster experience with Letty where she did not like the roller coaster later in the video.
One of her favorites the second time that we went was PhilharMagic. You sit in an auditorium, you put on 3D glasses, and you watch a show, basically like Fantasia-ish, and then it has different bits and pieces of other movies, but it has like smell-o-vision, and you get sprayed with water. It's just a fun experience that she really laughed at and clapped for.
Dumbo and Aladdin are very similar, but she likes both of those. I think kids being able to control the up and down of a ride is always exhilarating for them.
Another ride that never really has a long wait time are the teacups, and she absolutely loves those. We don't necessarily love them because we're old and we get dizzy, but she loves spinning around and the mouse in the middle that pops up and out.
Another ride that's very interactive and a lot of fun is obviously Buzz Lightyear. It's one of my favorites too. So
I personally don't like it.
So Letty got to control a gun, I got to control a gun, and that was perfect.
This is not a ride, but absolutely a top favorite are just the parades that go on, and then just the little shows that happen at the castle. You'll be walking through the park and you'll just catch those. It's pretty easy to find a good spot for the parade.
Yeah, we were able to just walk up and find a spot for the parade. So Letty really enjoyed It's a Small World, but I will say it is a very long ride. So if you're worried or concerned that your child is not going to like it, you may want to just not do that. But yeah, there's plenty to look at. I think it's very visually appealing for kids. Another thing that Scarlett loved was the Tomorrowland Speedway. Essentially, you have a little car that you can drive, and it's on a track, so she really enjoyed doing that.
It's one of my favorite / least favorites, just because it's always a long line.
Finally, we have the Mine Train and Thunder Mountain. I think Mine Train is always a big hit with the kids. I would say the average age is much lower in Mine Train's ride than it is in Thunder Mountain. It's a pretty tame roller coaster. The train just kind of swings back and forth, doesn't do any crazy flips. So I'd say that's a great starter one.
Thunder Mountain is my personal favorite at Magic Kingdom, so I will ride that over and over again.
That sums up Magic Kingdom for us. And if you didn't hear something, maybe stay tuned to the end because it might be in our least favorites. If you find this list helpful, please comment down below. Leave us an idea of anything that we may have missed. Share this video with someone that's heading to Disney soon, and subscribe if you haven't.
Next up is Animal Kingdom, which I personally love Animal Kingdom. A lot of people say there's not a lot to do, which is halfway true. But for Letty, the safari ride is an all-time favorite. She loves seeing all the animals. It feels like you're, in Africa, and she just loves animals. So if your kid likes animals, they're going to like the safari.
Another thing that people don't realize about Animal Kingdom is there is an entire playground in a section which has a great area for kids to like run around. There's a slide, almost like a little ropes course thing. So it's a really great park that kids can just run around and blow off steam that you don't have in the other park.
Next up is the Lion King show, which I had been to before. I don't remember it being as long, but with a toddler, I felt like it was a little bit long. You can see everything. It's interactive and fun, but I almost feel like she was too young for it. As long as you have space for your child to get up and dance and move, I think you'll be good to go if you have a toddler.
Finally, we have the Navi River Ride. It is great for kids. There's a lot of lights, a lot of things going on.
You're moving through a boat, so that's fun.
Will caution you that one could have a very, very long line. So just be prepared.
Next up is Epcot. And so when you enter Epcot, right to the right or something, at the very front, there is the Nemo ride. And Letty loves that one. You ride in a little shell, right? And move along. You see the turtle. You see all the animals. So she doesn't even watch Finding Nemo, and she likes that ride.
And you finish at the aquarium, which is great for the kids. She loved to run around in there, see the aquarium.
She could spend an hour in there.
Sharks. Yeah, she could spend all day, which is also a really great thing if you're there on a hot day because the aquarium is air conditioned, so you can kind of get out of the sun.
100% Ratatouille is now one of Letty's favorites. The first time we took her, she wasn't that thrilled. It was confusing for her. You move around and you're part of, you're the mouse, right? And so you're like running through parts of the kitchen, etc. But the second time, she wanted to do that over and over again. So she loved Ratatouille the second time.
Obviously, the ultimate favorite, I feel like for a lot of kids, is going to be the Frozen ride. Letty loves the Frozen ride. We actually almost got on the ride and then it shut down. And so we had to like come back later and wait through the line again. But we had to do it because she loves that ride so much. That pretty much wraps it up for Epcot. There's a lot of great food and shopping experiences because you can go to the different countries. But in general, that's the best rides for toddlers, in our opinion.
Last is Hollywood Studios.
Or MGM if you're old school like me.
We usually save Hollywood Studios for like a late afternoon. So we haven't really done a lot there. I've always wanted to do the Frozen show with her because I've been and I absolutely love it. So we're for sure going to hit the Frozen show on the next trip. But that one I know will be a favorite. So just keep that in mind. I can't say it's a favorite yet, but she's going to love it. It like snows and it goes through the whole movie. So
Toy Story Mania is a really great ride. It's a lot like the Buzz Lightyear ride, but it's just Toy Story themed.
Alien Saucers would probably be a favorite. There's just always a long line. It's really like the teacups. So if they like the teacups at Magic Kingdom, for sure they will like the Alien Saucers.
Finally, let's talk about a favorite, but maybe not a favorite, was the Slinky Dog ride. She wanted to go on it. We got on it. She was super excited. And then like right after the first turn, it turned into terror. And the entire ride was me talking her through it. Like, it's okay. We're going to get to the end. Don't cry. And then at the end, she's like, oh, I want to do it again.
However, I've asked her every like week since we went on that trip. And she keeps saying, no, I'm not big enough to go on that ride again.
I posted a video on Instagram. It got a lot of views and comments. In general, it seems to be a common consensus that a lot of kids get very scared.
Now we're going to hit our least favorite rides per park really quickly. So first up is Magic Kingdom, and on the top of the list is Carousel of Progress. It is really interesting and great for adults, maybe even like middle-aged kids, but for toddlers, it is too long and they will get bored.
And the animatronics are definitely very old and not up to date with everything else that Disney can do. And then also we have the Laugh Floor, which I think again would be great for older kids, but it really just scared Letty. She was not a fan of
I don't know what her name is.
Mike Wazowski.
That one. And finally, believe it or not, the Peter Pan ride.
It's just too dark in there. It kind of scared her. It kind of freaked her out. But when we went on what's that ride with the ghosts and stuff?
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. When we went on there, she loved that.
Right, which we didn't mention earlier. So
it's not like an all-time favorite. It's not like an
all-time favorite for her. I think it was a take it or leave it. But it's funny that she didn't get scared at Haunted Mansion, but she got scared at Peter Pan. Next up, Animal Kingdom, least favorite ride. It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Again, it's supposed to be comedy. It kind of just runs past her head.
And it's very scary because it's the whole grasshoppers versus the ants thing. And I think it just spooked her too much. And they have like the animatronics where a bug runs underneath your seat and things like mist you. So it's very interactive, and it's interactive in a scary way, not in like a fun way. And so she did not.
And you have to stay seated, which if you have a child that's just going to like, kind of wiggly, it probably isn't a good idea. At Epcot, Living with the Land, my friend Natalie, she loves it. I'm okay about it. Like it's you just ride through it, and it talks about like nature and plants and animals and
hydroponics.
It would be, we didn't even take her on it because it would be so boring. So just a warning, I don't know if it's really for kids.
Finally, least favorite ride for Hollywood Studios is the Millennium Falcon Smuggler Run. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. But I think she was the driver, right?
Yeah.
She was the driver of the ship. And it's pretty realistic, flying up in space and landing and crashing and swerving around other spaceships. Like, it's pretty intense for a young child who doesn't really know that it's pretend. So we just kept telling her, it's just pretend. It's just like a movie, because she got freaked out a little bit, and she kind of had to sit by herself. So that was probably
it was hard for her
favorite.
to reach the controls. She was so small, like to reach the controls, it was hard for her. So
we're excited to go back in 10 days. So we will see you in the next video when we finally go back.
you're worth it.
You're worth it.